I was dating an amazing woman until I found out she had a secret life as a cam model. I'm 32 and I've been seeing my girlfriend, 27, for about 8 months now. She's honestly one of the most amazing people I've ever met. Funny, smart, very creative, and stunning. We just click in a way I didn't think was possible. But I recently found out something I didn't know. She's a sex cam performer. I only discovered this about a week ago. When we first met, she told me she worked in a clothing store, and I didn't think much of it. I found out the truth when we were about to go on a date. She was in her bedroom getting ready, and I was waiting outside. She has a computer in her second bedroom, a room where she keeps materials for her paintings and sculptures. I was bored waiting for her, so I wanted to use it. She's always said I could without asking. When I turned it on, an external hard drive was connected. Curiosity got the better of me, and I looked inside. It was a backup of her videos, pictures, and other content from her cam work. I think about 95% of it wasn't nude, mostly very erotic content, with her in small lingerie and erotic clothes. I saw a dozen videos and pictures where her breasts were partially visible, but I didn't look through everything. At first, I thought she was doing OnlyFans, but when I confronted her, she was completely speechless. She froze, her eyes wide, and I could see the shame in her expression. She didn't know what to say at first, fumbling over her words and avoiding eye contact. After a long, awkward pause, she finally admitted that it wasn't OnlyFans. Those were videos and pictures she sells during her cam sessions. She was a cam performer. That's what she calls herself. The embarrassment was obvious. She looked genuinely ashamed, like she had been caught in a way she never expected. I won't lie. I got mad. I called her a cam whore, but she insisted it's not sexual. According to her, it's mainly about keeping people company. The men she interacts with are lonely and just want someone to talk to. She says she never goes fully naked, but sometimes she just takes off her top for short time and covers her breast strategic. I try to calm down and explain that this makes me really uncomfortable. The idea of other men watching her, even partially, is hard for me to process. I asked if she could stop if we were serious, and she refused. She said camming has been helping her pay rent and bills for years. I don't want to control her, but at the same time, this feels like a boundary I can't compromise on. I offered to financially support her so she wouldn't lose income, but she declined. She treats camming as a part-time gig while pursuing another career path she hopes to do full-time. She's exploring things like painting or other creative work she could eventually do professionally. She's ambitious and talented, and I respect that, but it still makes me uncomfortable. But now, the more I think about it, the more I feel relieved she didn't accept my offer. I keep considering all the potential complications of being with someone like her, even if she stopped camming. I have a 10-year-old son, and I worry about how this could affect him if he ever found out, or if I married her and someone tried to bully him about his stepmother's content online. I love her and thought we had a future, but this feels like a huge obstacle. Is there any way to make this work, or do I need to break up and move on? Best comments. Did she forget her backup drive in her computer, or she always let it there? She just forgot it there. After I found it and during the talk, she told me she had been copying stuff to the hard drive before I arrived and simply forgot to unplug it. I'd never seen that drive before, so it caught me completely off guard. Honestly, I think you're being realistic about your son. Even if she stopped camming tomorrow, the content is already out there. If protecting him is your priority, that's a completely reasonable concern. Some relationships just aren't compatible, and it doesn't make either of you a bad person. This is a hard boundary. You can't unsee what you saw, and you have a kid to think about. A woman who openly refuses to stop something that makes you uncomfortable, even after you offer to support her, is showing where her priorities lie. Protect yourself and your son. She's not the woman for a future family life. Her camming isn't just a job. It's a sign of her willingness to share her body and intimacy with other men, and she clearly doesn't respect your feelings enough to compromise. You can love someone and still know they're not wife material. You have a son and a boundary that can't be crossed. This isn't about controlling her. It's about self-respect and maintaining a household with integrity. There's no compromise here. Either you can fully accept this or you walk. And walking is the stronger move in this situation. Update number 1. For days later. After a few days of thinking, I realized I couldn't get past the camming issue. I love her, but this was a boundary I couldn't compromise on, especially with my son in the picture. I made the difficult decision to end the relationship. She became visibly distraught. She cried, and her shame and regret were obvious. She hadn't realized how much this would affect me. In that moment, I could see her vulnerability, and part of me felt guilty for causing her so much pain. She indicated that she would be willing to stop camming if we stayed together, and I could tell it was sincere. Even with that, I realized I didn't want to go back. Some of the comments on my first post pointed out something I hadn't emphasized enough. She had been lying to me for months. She should have told me at the beginning of the relationship, but by staying silent, she was effectively lying every day. Because of that, the trust was already gone, and knowing this part of her life had permanently changed how I viewed the relationship. It wasn't just about the camming itself. It was about my boundaries, my son, and my ability to feel secure and respected in a partnership. Walking away was heartbreaking. I still care about her deeply, and a part of me wishes things could have been different. But alongside the sadness, there's also a sense of relief. I no longer have to compromise my values or worry about potential complications with my son, and I know that prioritizing my own principles and my child's well-being was the right choice. Best comments. You made the right call. It's not about hating her or not caring. It's about protecting your son and your boundaries. Once trust is broken like that, it's nearly impossible to fully rebuild. You're showing self-respect and putting your kid first, which is exactly what a father should do. A woman who hides something like this at the start of the relationship has already shown you where her priorities lie. You can love her and still know she's not wife material. You did the hard but necessary thing. It's normal to feel guilt and sadness, but relief is a good sign. Your instincts are telling you that staying would compromise your values and your family stability. Sometimes the healthiest love is letting go. Props for acknowledging her sincerity while still standing your ground. Many guys would have gone back just because she cried or because she now had accepted your offer, but you stayed consistent with your principles.